It's been an interesting journey so far. So now we have a compilation, our first compilation. So we've compiled 10 thoughts from episode 1 to episode number 10. So we've put together and made a compilation of it. So please do share with us which thought resonated with you more. You can do that on the comment section. And if you like to hear more of these thoughts, more of this compilation, please let me know. And also do not forget to subscribe, and so that you can tune into more content that we developing. Thank you. Have a listen. Today's thought is along the way in life you're gonna want to give up. You're going to want to throw in the towel. You're going to want to just give up on that something that at some point meant the most to you. Though it is natural, there are times in life when we feel so overwhelmed with things. We feel overloaded with everything that's happening around us that you're tempted to give up. Be it business, when things are just not going okay, when things are just not coming together. You're gonna wanna give up, but don't. Just don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the dreams that you have. Perhaps remembering why you started something, remembering why there was a point where it was important to you. Perhaps that should keep you going. So, as much as you may want to give up, don't give up. You can't just check out now. You may have gone too far with it. You may have people that that depend on you making it through. Be it your kids, be it your family, be it your partner, be it friends. We almost always have those around us that are continuously rooting for us, that are continuously hoping we do good. So you can't give up. Just don't give up. Keep going. Try to find the strength wherever you find your strength in. And keep going. Don't give up. Today's thought is be kind. So just to give you a little context as to where this thought came from. Firstly, it's been roughly 7 months since we did our last recording, and a lot of things has been happening in my life that prevented me from just doing my recordings. And I found myself just saying, wow, Mbongeni, you failed at this podcasting. You tried and wasn't good enough. And I paused for a moment and I just thought to myself, wow, setbacks came and they didn't warrant me to insult myself, to call myself names just because of I was going through a setback. Setback does not mean failure. So too many times we go through things in life and then we get comfortable with being unkind to ourselves. We call each other stupid. When you do something, you're like, oh damn, that was stupid. Not really. It's very important to be kind to yourself. As I've said, setbacks come in life. A lot of things happen outside our control, outside our plans. Those things don't warrant you being unkind to yourself. It's very important to remain kind. Be kind to yourself, because you need that as a person. You need you to be kind to you before you expect others to be kind to you, before you can be kind to others as well. So you ought to be kind to yourself, accept the reality that comes through, but keeping in mind that the things that come in life, though they're out of your control, you still a good person. You still have what it takes to achieve whatever that you've planned. So it's very important to encourage yourself, to be kind to yourself, and continuously seeing positive from who you are. This will then allow you to be kinder to others, being kinder to the people around you, and also setting a standard when people are not kind to you. Setting a standard of how you expect people to treat you, because you can't expect people to be kind to you if you're not kind to yourself. So it starts from you. So go ahead and be kind to yourself. No matter what life throws at you, just remain kind. Today's thought is: being great requires sacrifice. Now, what do I mean by that? If you want to do something and you want that thing to provide for you in your lifetime, to provide for you financially, it could be wanting to do a business, it could be improving your grades. I say these things because I interact more with my students as a tutor and other entrepreneurs in my other business hustles. So if you want to do something and you want to be good at it, it's gonna require sacrifice. Being great at something, it's not some normal thing, you know. It's some anomaly type of stuff. So that requires sacrifice. Now, sacrifices come in different forms. It could be economics, you know. You need to sacrifice money, either putting in money to your business, putting in money to grow yourself, putting in money to uplift yourself and improve yourself. So that's the economic part of it. You may also have to sacrifice time. If you want to excel at one thing, you know, sacrificing the time you spend on Netflix, sacrificing the time you spend on YouTube or whatever escapism that works for you. However, making sure that you're great at something, you're gonna have to sacrifice those things. It also comes with time you spend with friends. You know, sometimes you have to sacrifice that as well. Because understanding that you wanna be in an abnormal level, you know, something that is not normal, something that is not ordinary, then you're gonna have to operate from a level of extraordinary. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to sacrifice time, sacrifice money, sacrifice TV, sacrifice like I said, even Netflix. Sometimes you have to sacrifice some family, some family time, sacrifice being with your partner, because of you wanna pursue this dream. You wanna pursue this thing that you want it to provide for you. You can't just give up on it. You can't just not put in everything you have to it. I tell my students, Uguti, if you wanna improve your grades, if you wanna be great in your class. Now, not everybody gets to be great in their class, so that's some abnormal type of stuff. Extraordinary level of performance. You can't therefore do what others do. You can't just, unless of course you're genius, then that's something different, But if you work hard on your craft, if you sacrifice certain things in your craft for your craft, that allows you to perform at an extraordinary level. So if you want to be great at something, you just have to be willing to sacrifice. Today's thought is, it could be worse. Be grateful. Now, what do I mean by that? Too often we get consumed with how things are at that moment, how things may seem at the time, and then we get caught up in this idea that though they are at their worst they could have been, and therefore there is no need to be grateful for anything, because the situations are worse. However, if we look at, for example, the issue of COVID, sure the basketball player Kobe Bryant. Had COVID came in 2 to 3 weeks before, compared to the time it actually came in, lockdown levels would have been put up before he had to travel, so he wouldn't have had to travel and the plane wouldn't have crashed. And also to look into, for example, the issue we have here in South Africa where if COVID came in 2 weeks after it came, we would not had the restrictions and lockdowns before Good Friday 2020. So we would have had the lockdowns after Good Friday. And we all know how a lot of people, we have a lot of car accidents during that Easter period. So some of us would have traveled at the time and would have died, or would have got into a car crash, something would have happened. So it's easy now to look at how things are and feel that things are worse, but if you were to just look deep within and realize that it could be worse. If COVID came sooner, some of us would have died. If COVID came later, some of us wouldn't be here. If if certain opportunities happened, you wouldn't be alive. If you had taken that off ramp that you missed at some point, you may have gotten into an accident. So it's very easy, to just be all up in your feels and feel that things are at their worst when they happen. However, sometimes you just need to look deep within things and realize that it could be worse. Things could be at the worst position than they currently are, and the little good that is happening, you ought to be grateful for. You ought to be grateful for the gift of life that you still have, no matter how not so great it seems. The gift of family, no matter how broken it seems or it may seem. The friends we have, the people around us, how grateful we should be, the support that they give us. You could spend time to look at the other things that have happened, the terrible things. At the same time, you could also look into the good things that are happening. So keep in mind that as bad as they things may be, but they could be worse. Be grateful for the good that you currently have. Today's thought: failure is not a measure of what you have not done in relations to what others have done. Too often we place ourselves in the category of failure because we haven't achieved what others have. We put ourselves down because we don't have things that we believe we should have because our peers have. We create these expectations of us, these rules that you at the age of 20 you need to have A, B, C, and D. At the age of 30 you need to have E, F, G. At the age of 40 you need to have this and that, right? So much that when you don't have those things and other people have those things, you now measure yourself against what they have. And if you don't have what they have, then you put yourself as, oh, then I failed. Or when you do have, you put those who do not have those things on the category that they failed. At times we even go as far as to say, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I should be. Because we've just created all these things. We've just put ourselves under so much pressure because at the age of 23 I'm supposed to have a degree. At the age of 30 I'm supposed to have a family, I'm supposed to have a house, I'm supposed to have a car. On whose measure? Like, why put so much pressure on yourself, and to go as far as to say you failed just because other people have achieved? First of all, you don't know how they've achieved what they have, and it shouldn't be your business that they have what they have. Stay on your own lane and I mean, some of these things are very silly, You're gonna put your entire life on hold, or put your entire life as a failure just because of it's not your turn to get something. That's very silly. And you're gonna say other people failures because of they don't have what you have. Suddenly that puts you in a much better position, or if you don't have what others have, that puts you in a lower position. That's very silly. So you shouldn't measure your failure as things you have not achieved in relations to what others have achieved. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to be ambitious with your plans. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, driven to achieve things. You shouldn't have goals. You should have your goals. You should have your ambitions. You should have targets and things that you want to achieve. What I'm saying is, if you don't achieve those things, that does not make you a failure because of others have achieved. We ought to reach different levels of success in different ways. Not everybody's supposed to have a family at 25 or a car at 25. And just because of you have not does not mean you have failed. Always keep your head up. Keep on doing the best that you can for yourself. Success should be about you, not what others have. Today's thought: keep the faith. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1. It reads as, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Keep the faith. It happens in life at times where life leaves you with nothing, where everything is taken from you in different aspects, be it a loss of a family member, loss of a job, loss of health, being diagnosed with an illness. In that moment, it's very difficult to see any positive thing. In that moment where everything seems out of place, everything seems you just seem lost, When that happens, you just got to keep the faith. Now, what is faith? The book of Hebrews says, faith is a substance of things hoped for. Having hope that things are gonna get better. Having hope that you can come back from it, because we all have it in us to come back from anything. And to have the evidence of things not seen. to believe that things that you hope for, this light that you hope to see in the midst of darkness, to believe that it's there, even though you don't see it. To believe that at the end of the tunnel there will be the light. To have that willingness to go through the tunnel in faith that which you hoped for, the light at the end, is going to be there. Going through situations where you believe you can come back from. There's this favorite quote of mine. You have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. Having the faith that what you dream of will happen. Having the faith that which you want in life is going to happen. To see it before it actually comes into fruition. To see it before it comes into existence. Because if you're not gonna have faith about it, you may not even see it. Now, I have my faith in Jesus Christ. You may have your faith in whatever that you have faith in. But keep that faith. Keep the faith that which you want to see in your life will happen. Go on and keep the faith. Today's thought is: take some time to reflect. Sometimes we get too caught up with what we do, with the current, and with the future, and we don't spend time to reflect, on where we come from. Because sometimes when you reflect, you start to connect the dots from your path, from the past. You start to see that you've actually improved in certain ways. You've made some steps forward in achieving certain things. And also sometimes reflecting allows you to look back into some of the mistakes you've made. And upon doing that, you now get to do things differently. You get to think about things and try to figure out what you can do differently. Because that moment of reflecting allowed you to check yourself. It allowed you to see the mistakes you've made, the good things you've made progress in achieving, and you then get to do two things. First thing will be to fix areas that needs to be fixed, to make improvements in areas that needs to be improved, to work on certain relationships, with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. So it allows you to do that. Another thing reflecting allows you to do is just being grateful. being grateful of the life you've lived, being grateful on some of the things you've made progress to achieve, and just being in a position where you understand certain things that you've done, you understand that you've made progress in those areas, and allows you to look forward to the future. So take some time and just reflect. It's a 3rd of May. Perhaps take some time to reflect on the past 4 months of the year. Perhaps take some time to reflect on the past 2 years or so. Whatever in your life needs to be reflected on, and see what you can take from it, the good and the bad. Work out on what needs to be improved, and look forward to the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years, and so on. So go on and take some time to reflect. Today's thought is: late is better than never. Yes, late is better than never. Too many times, just achieving something at a later stage is so much better than not having achieved it to begin with. Sometimes we focus too much on being perfect at something. You don't want to do something because you want it to be perfect. You're waiting for the perfect time, and we end up not doing them. So at times you're just gonna have to go forward. Just go forward and get to doing it. And even if it takes you time to get it right, or to get it, you're better off getting it than not having done it. Sometimes people contemplate studying for a degree, citing, I'm too old for this. It's just late for me. And you look and you realize, if you had done it 2 years ago, you would have got it by now. Yet you didn't do anything for the past 2 years. You contemplate studying, and you're thinking, okay, I'm too old. If I do this degree this year, I'm gonna have to graduate 3 or 4 years from now. Well, the 4 years is gonna come, whether you do the degree or not, whether you try something or not. The next 4 years is gonna come. The next 6 months is gonna come. It's not gonna wait on you. So you're just not gonna do it because it's gonna be late. So go on and do it. Just tell yourself, I'm gonna do this regardless. I'm gonna be the older person doing it. I'm gonna be the last one in. I'm gonna be the last of my mates to do it. I'm gonna achieve it at a later stage in my family compared to other people. Whatever it is, it's better to have it late than to not have it at all, because you were scared to do it. You were scared to try it at first. You were scared, or you were waiting for a perfect time. Sometimes there are things we don't even do because we want to start fancy. I remember when I wanted to do this podcast, I wanted to be fancy. I was Googling things. I was just checking on social media, and I ended up just doing it with just basic mic, some cell phone, and then just did it. So there's no point in waiting for the perfect time, the perfect moment. Sometimes you have to do it even though the chickens from the neighbors are making noise. Probably have to make a stew out of it. Anyways, just go ahead and do something. Go ahead and just try it. Just try it. There won't be a perfect time. Like I said, I'm not sure if you can hear it. My neighbor's chickens are making noise because I'm recording this at 25 minutes past 3 in the AMs. So I could sit and not do it, wait for perfect time, but sometimes things just don't get done whilst waiting for a perfect time, whilst waiting to be fancy about them. So go ahead and do it. Just get done with it, and you're gonna be late, you're gonna be the last one, doesn't matter. It's better to have it than to not have it at all. Today's thought is keep your head up. Now, we all know that life happens to us. At some point, one way or the other, life happens. Yeah, of course, there are some people whom it may seem like life never happens to them. But sure, for most of us, life happens. We go through things that makes us question, religion, question your faith, question the trust you have on people around you. That one thing we ought to do in those times is just keep your head up. As hard as it is, as difficult as it may be to maneuver around things, just keep your head up. Of course, it's harder to keep your head up should you lose your job, when you have debts and bills to pay. It's hard, granted, but sobering about it and crying about it every day won't really help. However, keeping your head up about it, finding something to be positive about certain things in life, that allows you to have a different perspective, perhaps, and plus, being negative about things is not really attractive. You don't want to be that person every time he's crying about something. Every time you come in and people around you be like, hey, I wonder what Mbongs is gonna cry about today. So just gotta keep your head up. Got to focus on things, focus on the positive side of things sometimes. I know somebody might see this, take this as toxic positivity. I'm not saying just don't think about it. I'm not saying should ignore that things aren't going good. I'm just saying that when life knocks you down, when you go through certain things in life, just try to keep your head up. Just try to carry yourself through, to lift yourself up, day by day. It's not always gonna be easy. Just take a step by step every single day. Just take a bit of step today, take a bit of step tomorrow. Before you know it, you can get to reflect and be proud that you did good, and that you had the faith to take a first step and the next and the next, and eventually pulled yourself through a mess. So no matter what life throws at you, just keep your head up. Try not to just stay above water. Just breathe in, breathe out, stay afloat, and hopefully tomorrow is a better day. Keep your head up. Today's thought is never give up. It's actually a quote from Chinese businessman Jack Ma. So the quote is, "Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. Too bad. Many will give up tomorrow night." So it emphasizes that today may be hard, and as hard as today is, tomorrow may be even harder. So it might seem, or it actually might be that things get a little bit harder. I think this applies more in when you're pursuing a certain adventure, be it business, be it anything along your craft. That today is hard. Things may be hard, and tomorrow may be even harder. It will be worse. But sunshine is coming the day after tomorrow. Eventually you may, it's not always guaranteed that you may get to the point where you do achieve what you set out. So surviving tomorrow night will be crucial. Surviving that tomorrow night is very important, because it allows you to be able to face the day where sunshine does come. So too many times we give up just before we pop. We give up way too soon, and we're not always able to survive the tomorrow night of the journey. You give up just before your business catches on. You give up just before you master the art. Be it learning a music instrument, be it learning a new sport, be it starting your hustle, whatever it is, just whatever, anything, could be anything. You need to be able to survive the tomorrow night of the journey. The time that will be at possibly the hardest, and that moment where you just almost there. You
almost there. So it could be that today you are on your tomorrow night. You are on the phase where just not giving up now is the best thing you can do for yourself. Just holding on to tomorrow is the best you can do for yourself. So don't be like many who give up just the night before the sun shines, who give up just before the end of the tunnel. Keep on going, keep on working hard, and who knows, your sunshine is coming. You are getting closer and closer to your sunshine. So the best thing you can do for yourself right now is not giving up on yourself. So go on and don't give up on yourself.
Once again, thank you so much for listening to today's Daily Thought. I'm your host, Mbongeni Yagelo, and I look forward to engaging with you. So leave a comment, and catch you next time on Daily Thoughts with Mbongs.